Hey, it's Darryl Syms, and in today's video I want to share with you one of my favorite programs which I use every single day to help with practice, transcribing, playing along with my favorite songs, and jotting notes of riffs and songs that I also write. The program is called Guitar Pro 7.5 and it's essentially a transcription tool, but not only can you transcribe and read music, but you can also play along with the music at given tempos. Now this program's been a real game changer in my practice efficiency and workflow, because prior to using this program I would handwrite a lot of things, and as you can expect with handwritten notes, they're not very consistent. Sometimes you can make mistakes and then you've got to rub them out or start again. But fortunately with Guitar Pro 7.5, as you can expect, everything is consistent, correct, thorough, and of course digital, which in itself is already a massive perk over having lots of loose sheets around the household. So let's get into the program and I'll give you a brief overview of how it works, what it does, and how you might also find it useful in your practice. And if you stick around to the end, I've also got a discount code to share with you. So when you open the program, you will be welcomed with this screen here where you can run through some examples that Guitar Pro have made, some templates, your recent files, create a new file, or open an existing one. So let's go ahead and explore one of these examples straight up. In this particular section here, educational, we can check out the pentatonic patterns, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, everything's super tidy. There's a lot of information on here which you will also be able to input as you create music yourself. And obviously this is very helpful when following along, when all of the information is put in there. So there are heaps of notes which you can write in yourself and change and adapt. You've got the tab, the notation, the specific fingering for each note, as well as the picking direction. On this particular sheet, you can see we're introducing some hammer-ons and pull-offs in here, and you can see that the time signature and the key is also defined at the beginning of the notation. All of this you can adapt and change yourself when editing music or creating your own. This particular example goes on for, as we can see, 15 pages worth. Now not only can you read this, that would be okay, but the best part about this is that you can actually play this and play along with it. So currently this is set at 80 beats per minute, and we're at 100% speed here. So if I play this, it'll sound like this. And if that's too slow for you, you can adapt the speed either by the percentage here. You can enter your own custom values. If we shoot up to 300%, let's see what that sounds like just by hitting spacebar. There you go. And obviously you can grab your guitar, play along. If you want to loop that particular exercise, you just highlight it like so, press play, and make sure the loop icon is active. And as you can imagine, if this was a particular song that you're learning and there was a section that you're struggling with, you can loop that section over and over at any given speed. You can go 50% or any custom value, and if you really wanted to, you can also adapt the BPM to whatever you want. So already there's a lot of information to take in here. Now on top of this, you can hear the guitar parts, but you can also add other instruments such as bass guitar, violin, any orchestra instrument, drums, anything that you can possibly imagine is built into this program. There's a whole instrument library built into this program with what they call a realistic sound engine, which makes all of the instruments sound as real as possible, since this is all, of course, just MIDI information, which isn't very pleasant to listen to in its raw form. So the realistic sound engine makes it a bit more engaging and relatable when you're playing along with this. If you go over to sound mastering over here, you can see what's going on with the track. In the effects chain for this guitar, we've got whatever this is, some reverb and an EQ at the end. And given that, as you can expect, you can adapt and change any of these variables yourself. On this particular track, there's also a drum track, so you can enter drums just as you would guitar. Let's go ahead and check out another piece of music. So I'm going to quit this one, no need to save. Let's go for classical. We'll go for some Bach here. So when opening this one, you can see that it's annotated on a staff, which is useful if you understand how to read staff, but what if you can't? Well, you can go over to track and you can change to tab, You can get rid of the staff if you want to, and there you have it. And that sounds like this. Beautiful piece of music, and you can hear that realistic sound engine in there that makes it have a classical tone to it. Once again, let's go ahead and check out one more piece of music here before we create our own. Let's go for something maybe a bit more technical. If we go into this hard rock example, it doesn't look that technical. However, there are a bunch of pull-offs that we can see. You've got a bend in there, some vibrato, which is annotated with this. And if we give that a listen, let's go down here. So there you go, that gives you a good example of what it sounds like with the bass and drums. And if you wanted to learn this piece of music, but it's a bit too fast for you, you can go up here and slow it down as you please. So these are some preset templates and examples within the program that just by default come with the program. There are heaps for you to play with here, and if that's not enough, you got some more templates here. And you can even go to the browse section here where they've got the My Songbook library, and you can type in any song that you can imagine, and it might perhaps be in their database of existing tabs. Here's the free tab of the day, Mama I'm Coming Home, Ozzy Osbourne. Maybe that's what you're interested in, maybe not. If not, you can find endless Guitar Pro tabs online from various websites. However, just a word of warning, I've found that in the past, as a developing musician, you of course rely on tabs, and you'll find yourself downloading a bunch from different areas of the internet. But more than often, if they're free and they're not part of the program, they're usually not 100% accurate, which is why this program's awesome, because you can go ahead and make changes and correct these areas that are not accurate and then save it. And because you can actually hear the tab, you'll be able to hear the parts that are correct or incorrect. Now let's go ahead and create a new file, and then I'll also show you a file that I've created and that I would consider finished. So if we get a new file, we're greeted with a blank piece of paper which we need to put together. So I'm going to go electric guitar, and let's go for overdrive. I want both tab notation and standard notation. And if I really want to, I can change the sound of the guitar. Let's go for the blues sound. This is pulled from the realistic sound engine. That sounds good to me. Hit create. Now, as a prerequisite to start writing music, it's very important that you have a very good sense of rhythm and that you understand note values in terms of quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, etc. So if I wanted to create a short piece of music, let's type out the pentatonic scale in the key of D. We're going to go major pentatonic, and I'm going to play everything in eighth notes. So of course in the key of D, that would start on the 10th fret of the top string. There we go. Moving on to 12. And then 9, 12, and then there we go. Now at the moment this is set in quarter notes. As you can see, there are 4 notes per bar, which equates to quarter notes, but I want these to be eighth notes. So I can highlight them all, go over to here, and you can see that the current value is quarter notes, but we're going to change that to eighth notes. But this incurs another problem. Everything's red now, which tells you that there's a problem. And that's because 4 eighth notes within a bar makes an incomplete bar. And you can see that at the top. If I just click anywhere within the bar, we've got 2 out of 4 beats occupied. So we actually need to copy this information over here, as you can see. And then there you go. 4 out of 4, all the beats are occupied within that bar. So we can delete that now. In fact, we'll go ahead and delete that bar altogether. Now this bar is incomplete, so we need to add perhaps a neutral note. I can just press R for rest at this point, and we need a half note for this particular section, because 1 half note and 4 quarter notes equals a whole bar. So that's the importance of understanding rhythm. That's kind of the only prerequisite to this program, that you understand that, and once you play with it a little bit, it'll be quite simple to get your head around. So if we go ahead and listen to that, it'll sound like this. Fantastic. Now if we look at the tab section of this, everything looks perfectly fine. However, in the notation side, if you wanted to keep this, you'll notice that there are a few sharps in there, and that's because we've not determined the key yet. So in order to do that, you need to click the first note, and then we go over here to the key signature, or Command K is the shortcut for that, and then we can adapt this to the key of D major, which has 2 sharps, as you can see. You click OK, and you'll notice that the sharps within the notation have gone now because we've appropriately annotated what key we're in. Now let's go beyond this and suggest that we want to add in some techniques. So maybe I want to slide between each of the notes. Over here to your left, you can see you have a mixture of different things to choose from strums to rakes to the picking direction, anything that you can possibly imagine. Here's the slide function. We can just click that. Or on the next note, once you learn the shortcuts, your workflow becomes a lot quicker. That's Option S. And you can use the arrow keys to navigate around the notes. And as you can see, once you get the hang of this, you can get quite quick at putting these things in. You can even hear the slides in there, which is quite impressive. Similarly, if you wanted to add some hammer-ons, you can go ahead and do that. Some vibrato, palm muted notes, anything that you could possibly imagine, even hits from the thumb or the palm, or taps, harmonics, bends, etc. And even with the bends, if I wanted to bend this last note here, if we click this one here, we can set the specific kind of bend that we want. Do we want a whole bend? Do we want a double bend, a 1.5 step bend? The distance of the incline, and also perhaps it's already a pre-bend or a pre-bend release, etc. So as you can see, there's a lot of things that you can adapt within this program, which is really wonderful. So you can be sure that when writing music or editing music, you can trust that nothing is overlooked. Now, if I was finished with this particular piece, I can go over to the song section here. If you click more, you can add a title, so major pentatonic scale artist, Darryl, and so forth. And if you didn't like the generic font and layout, you can also go to style sheet and start customizing your own style sheet by changing all of this information. Or I have a preset style, which is here, style 4, open, apply, boom. So it's a little bit more interesting. I've got a bit of branding there and transcribed by Darryl Syms at the bottom. So that should give you a very brief but relatively thorough idea of what you can expect within the program and how it works. Let's jump out of this. I'm not going to save this, and we're going to see one of the recent files which I've transcribed. So if I click that one, half step down, 95 BPM, 2 flats, which means we're in the key of B flat major. And as you can see throughout this piece, I've annotated all of the ghost notes, the hits, which are annotated with the X's. There's lots of slides. And just for aesthetics, I like to design my tabs with both tab and standard notation. I think it looks better, and it's also good practice to pay attention to both so that you can read both tab and standard notation. In fact, if you're not a good sight reader, this is a fantastic program to learn sight reading, since you can take basic songs, turn off the tablature, and then force yourself to read the standard notation. And then of course you can check your answer with the tab. And of course with a song like this, if you struggle to play along with a particular section, as I tried to demonstrate earlier, you can take or highlight a particular section, maybe slow it down to 80%, press play, and then play along with that at your own pace. So there you go. And if I bring that to regular speed, let's just play. And there you have it. That is the end, or at least part of, my song Sticky Date Pudding. Now once you're done with your piece of music, whether that's an edited piece of music that already exists, or you've created your own song or riff that you wanted to write down and save, you can save it as a guitar profile and of course share that with anyone that you would like to share that with. Or if you're sharing it with someone that doesn't have Guitar Pro, or perhaps you wanted a printed copy of this piece of music, you can just go up here to File, save as, or save if you want to save it as a Guitar Pro file, or you can export it to PDF here, which is also quite useful for those who don't have Guitar Pro. So that just about concludes everything that I want to share with you in this video. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of how this program works and why I think it's really one of the most valuable programs that you can incorporate into your practice regime and workflow. I honestly use this almost every single day to develop my speed and rhythm and timing, whether I'm practicing along with my favorite songs or whether I'm creating my own songs and I just need a means of remembering that. So hopefully you found this video somewhat informative and useful. As I mentioned earlier, I do have a discount code which is linked in the description below. That'll give you 20% off the retail price, which you'll be able to find on their website, which is also linked in the description below. I'd like to thank the fellas at Guitar Pro for sending me a copy of this program. It's been tremendously helpful for speeding up my workflow and improving the quality of my practice. So thank you very much. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to share them in the comment section below. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.